where all the process is done. These are the dendrites from where the data is coming. That means the input channels. Is it clear? After all these processing, through this exam channel and the synapse, these are the output part. Am I audible to everyone? Hello, ma'am. Can anyone just respond that I am audible or not?
Ah, yeah, you are audible.
Okay, so is there any distortion in my voice?
Huh, little bit, but now it's okay.
Okay, okay. So maybe there was some network issue
Huh,
because
definitely.
of, yeah.
No, I'll inform
So
you if there will be any distortion.
yeah, sure, 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 sure. Thank you, ma'am. So what is this? This is synapse from where this nucleus gives us output, and through this, all the dendrites are connected of other neurons, basically. So this neuron is connected to another neuron, and that neuron is connected to another one. So through this, there are a single neuron can be connected through more than 10,000 neurons. Is it clear? So there is a mesh topology like a network. Clear? So through this, we have also artificial neural network. Clear? So in biological neural network, we have dendrites from where we get inputs. Here, these are the inputs through which we are getting all the data. Clear? So all the data is collected or gathered here, or we say all the data is summed or added together here and sent to the activation channel or activation function. What is the activation function? Here it is checking that whether I have or whether a nucleus or neuron have to provide any kind of output or not. Because if the priority of that particular signal is not that much high to get activated, so we don't have to provide any kind of output. That means if I say, or if I take an example of our human body, if there is a nail pinned in our leg, so on only those neurons which are connected to that particular part can get activated. Is that clear? Or there are lot of neurons connected to every body part, but only those neurons get activated which are connected to that particular part of our body. That's why we use this activation function and threshold. Threshold means if the input signal is higher than this particular value, then only you have to give an output. Is it clear? So we are moving forward. After artificial intelligence, if we saw that artificial intelligence is achieved through machine learning algorithms and deep learning algorithms or neural networks. So that means we can say that artificial intelligence is a superset in which there are subsets like machine learning, and the subset of machine learning is deep learning, because if we want to achieve machine learning, we have to integrate it through deep learning. I will explain it through lot of examples I have. Is it clear? So we'll move forward from there. So now, what is machine learning then? So, machine learning is a concept that a computer program can learn and adapt to new things without human interference. Is it clear? So, in AI, what we are doing, we are simulating the complete human intelligence. But in machine learning, we are focusing on a particular target or a particular point. That means this a single hand can be learned through machine learning. Is it clear? If we have to learn or make a machine which can learn the ability of complete human body, we have to integrate multiple machine learning models through which we can achieve that particular thing. Is it clear? So what we have different methods of machine learning, or we can say these are the types of machine learning, which are okay, sorry, which are supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Is it clear? So in that, it is saying that supervised is task driven. That means we have to work on regression and classification here. Okay, so in supervised learning, what we are doing, we are providing the data. Yes, we have output that we have to achieve this particular point, and then what we have the algorithms and as a supervisor there. Is it clear that you have to work on this particular algorithm, and then you can achieve this particular output? That's why in supervised learning, we have the rate of accuracy is higher than other of these particular things. Is it clear? So, what are the examples of supervised learning then? So, the examples of supervised learning is basic palm mail filtering. What I will explain you in an example. Okay. So, supervised learning can be applied on spam mail filtering, which can be used in your Gmail account also. And then there is unsupervised learning. Is it clear? So, what is unsupervised learning then? Unsupervised learning means we have data, but we don't have classified data. That means we don't know that this particular data is what. Okay, we have output that we have to achieve this particular thing, and we don't have any kind of supervised algorithm. So what we have to do, we just have to check whether we are going properly or not. So here the error is much higher than an other supervised and reinforcement learning. So what is the example of supervised unsupervised learning then? In different kind of things like e-commerce websites, and we say the Netflix and all, we have some recommendation engines through which we get recommended that if you are seeing or if you are watching this particular season of this particular episode or this particular web series, you can also like this particular thing. Or we talk about Amazon. If two friends or two people of a particular location purchase some particular things from Amazon, person A is purchasing things and person B is purchasing particular things, and those three particular things are similar to the person A, then the recommendation engine will recommend the other two elements to the person B also. All these things are done because of this unsupervised learning, because it clusterizes all the things through different similarities. If we talk about the genre in music section, or we talk about genre in Netflix and all, so if you are watching a comedy series, so all the comedy series are recommended to you. If you are watching some thrilling series, so all the thriller series are uh, recommended to you. Is that clear? So if there are any queries, you can go for the chat box. I'll explain in a minute. So after that, what is reinforcement then? This is the mixture of supervised and unsupervised learning. It is also called semi-supervised learning because it learns from mistakes. How I can say that? Because if we talk about the reinforcement learning, it already work on hit and try method. What we do, we just penalize all the things. Like if the machine is working proper, I will reward that machine through some point. Okay. And if the machine is doing some error, so I'll penalize him and then get some rewards from it. Is it clear? So it can learn through that particular thing. That if the machine is getting rewarded, that means it is doing properly. And if the machine is went through penalizing, so it understands that that's not the proper way to do that particular. So all these different things are machine learning types or methods of machine learning. Okay, so I'm just moving for the chat box. There is a lot of things. Ma'am, is there any kind of query on the chat box?
No, not at present.
Okay.
If anyone is having any query, you can write in chat box.
Okay then. So
just continue.
okay. So, ma'am, I was audible properly, no?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. Then, what is the workflow? Basically, how we work on this particular thing. So, what we do, yes. So, what we do, we just gather lot of data, pre-processed data, I will say. What is pre-processed data then? Then, because the data can have some null values, can have some missing values and all. So firstly, we have to clean all that particular data, and after all that cleaning, we just divide that particular data in the ratio of 80/20. That means we divide all the data in different parts, which is training data and testing data, which is here new data. So what we are doing, we are just providing this training data to the algorithm, through which what it does, it just creates some visualizations, it just creates some algorithm, apply some algorithm on that, and then it understands that if this particular algorithm is working properly or giving us an accuracy of a higher level, then only we just move towards this predictive model. That means after applying these algorithms, what we do, we just create a model which is known as predictive model. And after that, what we do, we just deploy that particular model to annotate data, or we say to work in a real time. Is it clear? So basically this is the workflow. That means you have to provide the data to unsupervised or supervised algorithm as you are working on that. So after training all these things, we provide new data to it, through which it is extracting all the features and all, and then it is putting all the data to the machine learning algorithm, through which we can get a group of grouping of objects. Because if we talk about unsupervised learning, what do? We just create clusters. These are the different clusters, and then what we do, we just create a predictive model. Is it clear? This grouping of object is done because of checking or testing our data, that our data is predicting properly or not. And after it is working properly, then we go for this predictive model, and then we deploy the data, or we deploy that particular model to any kind of project. So after the workflow, what are the application of AI then, or we say machine learning? Because if we talk about bottom up approach, so machine learning is at bottom, and upwards there is AI. So we can go for computer vision. That means if we talk about only the camera, uh, so we can go for computer vision through this, through which what we can do, we can create a lot of different kind of systems. Like we can go for face detection model, or any other project what you want to create through the camera, you can go for it using machine learning. And then expert systems are like, if we talk about different kind of expert systems we have on Google, there are different kind of web applications or websites through which we can get advices. Yes, medical advices, or we say, or any kind of advices we can get through these particular expert systems. Okay, and then predictions. As we use a weather API in our mobile phone, we can get predictions also, that after 10 days, this will be the temperature of that particular time or that particular day. It all get predicted through all machine learning algorithms. Yes, or we can predict different kind of values, that this is particular uh, the cricket score, and all the other examples you can have, I think. So for security systems also, if we integrate our machine learning algorithm to IoT, we can create a lot of security systems in our home, in our offices, and any other premises you want. Analysis. So as if we have 4G now, and we are going towards 5G in some days. So we have a lot of data. Are you understanding? Every day you use you just waste, I think, all the data, which is 1.5 GB and all. So, what is that particular data? Why that particular data is being used? Is it clear? So, what we can do through that particular data is analysis. What we do, we just analyze that particular thing through which we can apply some businesses on that, like Amazon and all. They totally work on analysis. Are you understanding this? Because if there is a lot of person in your particular area are buying or purchasing that particular thing, so you also have, maybe you have or you need this particular thing, but you don't have idea. So it gets or it will just recommend you that particular thing. Is it clear? It's all about the business intelligence and all. So it all depends on analysis. So if we talk about data science is purely works on analysis part. And then assistancy, what we say about assistance? So we have a lot of assistant in our mobile phones, in our websites. Like you can have some chat with us, like window in the websites. What is it? It is a chatbot. Yes, and there are a lot of another applications you can make through AI or machine learning as per your needs. And then what are the languages we can use for AI, applying or getting or achieving AI and machine learning. So R programming is the best programming language for statistical machine learning, or we say data science basically. But if we talk about Python programming, so in Python programming there are a lot of ways we can go for it, because after advanced Python, we have to choose that we have to go for GUI programming, we have to go for game development, we can go for web development also. And there is a part of Python programming which can work on AI also. We can go for Java, we can go for C++, which is modern C++, I think, and JavaScript also. In the web applications, we can use JavaScript to apply machine learning or AI algorithms. And after all these, as I have explained artificial intelligence, so, and what is the neural network also. So this is what the introduction part of my presentation is. Yes, that what is AI, how we can achieve AI, what is machine learning, and what are the different features of machine learning. All these things are completed now. So what else, or what we have to do further? Yes, we have to go for the basics. That what are the basic language we can use, or what is the preferable or preferred language for AI and machine learning. So if we talk about basics here in my presentation, I'm just presenting you some of the part of Python programming. Why? Because of this, Python is a high-level interpreted language. It can be used or scripted with another language also. That's why it is object-oriented scripting language. Python is designed to be highly readable. Why? It uses all the punctuations for that, like if, else, or, and, all these things like English keywords. Yes, that's why it is very easy to read and understand for a beginner also. That's why. And what are the advantages of Python then? Yes, it is dynamic, it is object oriented. Yes, all these are the dynamic or the applications or the advantages of Python. But what we have to do, we just have to understand this sixth part, which is supports math and AI. Supports math and AI. That means Python can support artificial intelligence and mathematics both. So why mathematics? Uh, So, if we talk about logical thinking and logical understanding, so what is the main feature of logics? We have to understand mathematics. Is it clear? If we are good in mathematics, we can create more logic. Yes, that's right. And in machine learning and AI, there are a lot of mathematics used. As we say, we are using regression, multivariable regression, and classification, probabilities, and statistics. All these things are the part of mathematics. Yes, we are using sets, subsets, and superset. All these things, set theory, all these things are example, or we say a part of mathematics. So what's next? What is the syntax of Python? Maybe you all know that particular thing, that how Python is written, or how the syntax of Python is like this. We don't have to add any kind of data type to it. We just provide a variable and it dynamically understands through this particular thing, which is value of that particular variable. That if the value is integer, then the data type of that particular variable is integer. If the value is string, then the data type of that particular variable will be string. And that's how we can add any comment. So what we have to understand this particular thing. If we add any kind of condition or any statement which consists of some line set of code inside it, we have to use indentation, or we say tab space. We just use colon and tab space for that. We don't have to use curly braces and at the end the terminator, which is also called semicolon. Yes, we don't have to use that. We just have to provide a column after statement, and then after intending all these things, we can add that particular statement what we have to add. Is it clear? So what are the applications of Python? Basically, what I've just explained that particular thing, that we can go for web and internet development. That means internet scripting is also done by this. We can go for game development, scientific and computational applications like AI, ML, and all. Language development like speech recognition and all. Image processing, graphic designing applications, GUI programming. All these things can be done through Python. We can deploy our Python project in an exe file also. So we can create direct software through this. Is it clear? So after these basics, what we have to do, we just have to move toward some programming. Maybe there is some query. How feature extraction understand that what have to do when supervised unsupervised reinforcement learning reinforcement data will given. Okay, so I'm just going for an example. Sir, how AI and ML transforming endpoint security. Yes, I'll just explain all these things.
One more query is there.
Okay,
So the unsupervised data will recommend that all the things to person see also.
yes,
Uh-huh.
basically I'm just going for the first that one. So in unsupervised learning, if we provide some images, just imagine we have provided some images, like some images of apple, some images of banana, and some images of oranges. So through the similarities of them, okay, are you understanding? Through the similarities between them, it just clusterized that the machine doesn't know that this is apple, this is banana, this is orange. Yes, but it just clusterizes all these things in different parts, through which if we place an image in front of that machine of an apple, so it understands that the this can be similar to the apple's cluster. So it will show you that particular thing, that this is an apple. So it doesn't know that this particular thing is an apple or not. It just checks the similarities of all these things and clusterize all these things. What is cluster? Cluster is a set of similar kind of data. It's that. Is it clear? And then what we have, how AI and ML transforming endpoint security. Look, if we talk about security, so in AI and ML, what we are doing, we are just providing a lot of integrated or encrypted algorithms to it. If we talk about security only, yes, so it can increase the endpoint security. Why? Because there is no static programming or dynamic static programming to it. So any intrusion can never attack on that, because if we wait. Hmm. So because there is no static programming. So it it can be said that it is more secure than the statistical or static programming. Basically, I can only say that. So how feature extraction understand that what have to do when supervised unsupervised reinforcement learning data will given. So wait, feature extraction is pre-processing of data. Are you understanding that particular thing? So in pre-processing of data, we have to clean all that data and we have to give the knowledge of that particular thing, that how to extract the data. I will show you an example in a minute. I was just going for that only. So is there any query other? Is there any other query? No. Okay. Because I have the example of spam mail filtering. I was just working on before 2 days. So I'll show you that particular thing so you can understand easily. Okay then. So I'm just moving towards that. So first of all, what we have to do, we just have to go for some programming. Okay. So as I have shown the example that the syntax basically, as my screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay then. I'm just going for that. X equals to 1. Is it clear? So what I'm doing, we can add comment to that. And then we just have to go for uh, any kind of statement. Yes. Ma'am, can you just check the chat box? If there is any query, you can just let me
No,
know.
no new query is not there. Last
Okay.
query is that how feature extraction understand.
Okay. So that's what I was saying, that if there is any query, you just make me inform.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So if x is greater than 0, I'm just giving a condition which is true. If I press enter, it automatically gets indented because we are using environment which is basic or pointing to the Python only. That's why it directly added the indentation of a single tab space. And what we have to do, we just have to add any kind of statement here. So I'm just adding this particular thing, that hello everyone. Yes. So if I just run this particular code, what will happen? It will just look, maybe there is some issue, that's why it's very slow. And that's what I was saying, that x is equals to 1. Is it clear? This is a comment, and then this is the condition that x is greater than 0. It is true because x, the value of x is 1, and then print hello everyone. So it printed that particular thing. Is it clear? So we are going for another example. I'm not going for a deep one. I'm just giving an overview of programming in Python. So how we can visualize the data and how we can clean the data. Basically, that's what I was trying to do. So what I have to do, I am just providing e equals to. So what is it? It is a list, or we say it is an empty list. Okay, just name it E, and then I'm just going for O equals to, I have created two blank lists. Yes, what I am doing now, I'm just going for a for loop for x. It is another variable. We can go for dynamic. We don't have to initiate that particular thing previously. So for x in range, we are using here a range function which is inbuilt in Python, and we can provide a range of 20, through which it what it does, it will just give us a value of 0 to 19 because it is going for the index only. So what I'm doing, I'm just printing x. Is it clear? So if I print this, you can see it is giving us the value of index 0 to index 19. Is it clear? Yes. So what I have to do, I just have to clean this data. Yes. What I'm saying, I just need to clean this data and divide all the data in two different parts, which are even and odd. Is it clear? So if I say if x is divided through 2 and giving us reminder 0, then it is an even number. Yes. If any number is divided through 2 and providing us reminder 0, so it will be an even number. So what we have to do, e dot append. What is this? Append is a method through which we can add data to any list. Is it clear? So all the data in this particular if condition, if the condition is true, then it will append the data here. Is it clear? That means if the if this condition is true, then all the data will be added to the even number. Or else, what we have to do, o dot append. That means if that particular condition is not true, then we have to add all the data in odd numbers list basically. So what I will do, print e, that means print even, print o. Okay. So if I do this, what we get, look, we have two different lists which are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Is it clear? So what we have now, we have a clean data of two different types. First, what we had even all the numbers from 0 to 19 in a single set. Now what I have done, I have just divided that particular data in two lists. Yes. So after cleaning the data, what we have to do, we just have to visualize the data to understand it easily. Is it clear? So what we do, we just add or import a library through which we can plot any kind of maps or graph. Is it clear? So what we do, we just import matplotlib dot pyplot. That means from matplotlib package, we need pyplot class, and I'm just using a name for it is as ELT. Okay, so this is renamed by PLT. So whenever I need to use this particular thing, I will use PLT for that. Okay, so I'm just running this to import that particular class or package. Okay, so please don't draw these particular lines on my screen. Thank you. You can entertain us by your queries. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so after importing this particular file, Hello.
One query is there.
Yes, ma'am.
How will AI impact application development?
Okay. How will AI impact on application development? As if you see, we don't code. I understand. Wait, there is also a query from a person who have provided me privately. So please tell me what is the disadvantages of that. We'll go for that also. We have to wait for that. Okay. So how will AI impact application development? As we see, we don't use programming languages now. We can create applications and all easily through block programming. Do you know about that? There are different tools through which we can create mobile apps without using any kind of programming. So all these things are basic of AI. Are you understanding? We are going for a huge amount of that particular application in a future, but currently we are just on the basic of AI. That's why we don't have that much applications related to this, but there are lot of applications which are working on application development, web development, and all. You can go for WordPress and Wix. Are you understanding that? There are a lot of applications and tools through which we can create applications. That's why all these things are working on machine learning or AI somewhere only. Are you understanding this? Okay. So as this, you can see this. My library is imported. So what I will do, I'll just plot ELT dot plot E and ELT dot plot O. Yeah. And I'll just show this one. ELT dot show. And if I run this particular code, so it will plot a graph through all these data of two lists. Is it clear? Maybe it will take time. Yes, you can see this. There is there are two graphs, the blue one and the orange one. You can see if the graph is starting from zero, which one is this even one, and the orange one is for odd. We can label it also. So through these kind of things, we can just this was the simplest example of cleaning the data and visualizing it. Are you understanding? We can create a lot of different kind of plots. We can create a different kind of visualizations with that. I'll just move forward for that. And the person who is drawing on my screen, please just stop because it will just distort my graph. Thank you. Ma'am, can you say for this?
See? Hello? Yes?
Can you uh, make the person who is drawing on the screen
Just wait.
stop? So because the graph will distort it. Other than I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Don't get afraid. This is only the pre-processing of data. There was a query in which the student was asking that what are the feature expected. So all these things, are you understanding? This particular, this is the complete set of only pre-processing data. I understand these all are the what are these? These all are the import functions, or these all are the packages where what we have to import it. What are the constants in that particular application or code? All these are this, and then how we can read. I'm just explaining you a spam email filtering project. Okay, so what I have to do in that particular project, I am just showing that. Sorry. So firstly, I have to read that file. So I have to took an exemplary email for that. Okay, this was the email, and the only thing we basically need is this dear Mr. Still and all. This is the body of that particular mail. All the above was only the additional things added to that. So after it, what we have to do, we just have to clean that thing and we will get only the body. Look, print email body I have written. So what it does, it will just print only the email body. Is it clear? After this, I have created some functions through which we are just extracting the complete email body only. So email body generator, all these things are the functions through which we have worked on. So look, these are the emails, okay, which are spam emails. Are you understanding this thing? Spam emails, okay. Spam, that means which are not relevant or which are not important. So these all types of emails went to the spam box only. So all these emails are spam. How many emails are there? 1896 emails. Are you understanding this particular thing? And we have ham emails. Ham means important emails. That just because of rhyming, I just use spam and ham. Okay. So in ham emails, I have 3,900 emails on which we will work. Okay. So if we see the complete data, shape of entire data frame is 5,796 emails are there. Are you understanding that particular thing? There is a lot of data because every email have minimum 1,000 words or minimum 1,000 letters in that. So there is a lot of processing inside this. That's why I am just showing you all the data. And then in this feature extraction, what we have to do, look, we have to check whether any kind of missing values are there or not. Is it clear? That means, is there any kind of missing value in all the set? Is there any kind of empty email? That means null data or null value in the set. So all these processing. After that, what we have to do, remove system file entries. That means we don't need all these things. We just need what? We just need the particular email body only to understand whether the email is proper, important, or a spam email. Are you understanding this particular thing? So after all these processing, we have to create some kind of visualization with that. So here I went for a pie chart. Yes, we can see this. How many percent of legit mails? That means the 67% emails are important, 33% emails are spam in my set only. Clear? So I have just created this particular thing in a proper way with some system, and then I have moved towards a donut chart. What is donut chart? It looks like this. Look. So I have just added some values here. Category name, spam, legit meals, updates, and promotions. What are the sizes? 25, 43, 19, and 22. That means it should be 100 only. Okay. The addition of all these categories or sizes should be 100. So after that, what we got? This. Look here. There are 23% of spam emails, there are 20% of promotional emails, there are 39% of legit emails, that means important emails, and 17% of updates. Okay. So in that, what we have to work or on what we have to work here. is uh, the thing is called natural language. What? Uh, okay, natural language processing. Clear? So here what we have to do, we just have to again pre-process all the data because we can't predict any value used uh, using strings. We need numbers. Are you understanding that particular thing? We can't predict or create statistics through strings. We need we need numbers for that. So in this we have just work on a lot of data, and what I am doing, I'm just created a message, a dummy message, and then I have tokenized that particular message. That means I have just created different values and created a list of for that a single string is divided into multiple data of list. Is it clear? After that, we have to understand what are the stop words in that. Stop words means this, that, dot, or comma. All these things are stop words. We need only the keywords which work or which make us understand that this particular thing is a spam email or a ham email. Okay, so this is not a proper one, or hello is not a proper one through which we can understand. So all these things we just have to remove. Okay, so this process is called word tokenizing. Okay, then what we are doing, we are just creating stems. So there is a lot of work through which we have to go. We have to remove the punctuations also, through which we only get the particular data what we need to understand all these things. Okay, that's how we just work on pre-processing of data. Look, some emails also have HTML tags. So if the email have this particular kind of body, so we have to get through it and get only the particular body we need. Okay, email processing. And after that email body, what we got this thing. This is the set, or we say list of strings, or we say words which are used in our particular message body. Is it clear? So after cleaning all these things, so what I was saying, this is all the feature extraction process, or we say pre-processing of data, through which we just clean the data. And hello, hello.
Hello. Yes, Rohit.
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am. Am I audible properly? Yes, yes.
Uh-huh,
I am
you are
audible
audible.
properly.
Yes,
Okay,
you
okay,
are
ma'am.
audible.
So that's what I was explaining, that all these things are working, and sometimes it takes a lot of time and lot of processing value. Okay, so this is what the pre-processing of data is. Yeah. So if we count all the words, afterwards, what we have to do, we just need numbers. That's why what we are doing, we are just using to check, or we are just trying to check that how many words are used multiple times. Okay, like HTTP
अगर
is
कोई
used.
स्क्रिबलिंग कर रहा है ना तो वो बता देगा कि कौन स्क्रिबलिंग कर रहा है वो बता देगा कि कौन स्क्रिबलिंग कर रहा है स्क्रीन पे देखो देखो
और फिर हम लोग क्या आते हैं, फिर से हम लोग आते हैं वर्ड क्लाउड की तरफ. व्हाट वी आर डूइंग हियर, we are just creating word cloud. You have seen these kind of things somewhere else. So what we are doing, we are just creating these kind of things to understand the number of that particular word is how much that particular word is. Okay, so look at this. This is a word cloud in a shape of wave. Yes. So in that particular set of data, which word is used multiple times? You can see whale is the most used word. Or one is also used multiple times. Without is used in less time. Clear? हाँ कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा. I know because it needs a lot of understanding for that. Sorry. But if you are not understanding all these things, you just have to go for query section. You do not have to draw these things. Okay, if you are not understanding all these things, so please go for the query section and ask. So all these things, I was just explaining that this is the pre-processing only. Okay, so only this is the pre-processing, and after that, what we have to do, we just go for the testing and evaluation of our system. Okay, so here we understand how much accurate our data is and how much powerful our system is. Okay, so we just have to calculate all the data and we just have to create some probabilities. Here we are using what we have to say, we are using joint probability. Okay, joint probability in log format. There are a lot of things related to mathematics we are using here. Okay, so visualizing the data. Now, what we have to do, we just have to visualize the data whether it is proper or not. So for that we have to use regression here. Yes. So for proper understanding, okay, so you can see there are two types of things. First is non-spam, which is in red color, and in spam, it is a blue color. So if this is the regression line and any red color dot is present here only, so that means it is not that much accurate. Yes, but if we see there are many, or we say there is a very less amount of data which is inappropriate basically. Yes, because if we see in this graph, only one or two dots of red balls are present in the blue section. That means we have created a proper set of data. Yes, or we are working on a proper prediction model here. So if we have to understand that our system is highly accurate or not, we have to go for some scores. Yes, so here we have recall score, precision score, and F1 score. Understanding? So what is recall score then? What is recall? That how many relevant are selected. Clear? That means recall means how many relevant are selected. And this is showing us the accuracy and the recall score is 93%. It's a very huge value for that because it shows that only 7% of non-relevant data is selected. Okay, and then we have precision score. That means how much data which is selected is relevant. Is it clear? That means how much data we are selecting is relevant. So F1 precision means how much data we are selecting is appropriate or is proper, which is giving us 97% of accuracy. This is a very huge number again. And then it comes F1 score. So what is the score of testing data? From where we get precision score into relevant recall score divided by precision score plus recall score into 2. So what we get? We get an accuracy of 95%. That means this system or this model can be considered as a high or a strong artificial intelligence system. Is it clear? So I'm moving towards chat. Okay. Okay. Sorry, Hassan, but we can't share this particular course and all because all these things are basically our study material and my personal project. So I'm just demonstrating all these things, but I can share these. Right. Okay. So what was the last one? Okay. By AI, we are going to make the machines more intelligent. Will it increase the employment of the manpower globally? No, it can affect the manpower or the employment of manpower because whether or where we need 10 humans, we can provide or we can add or we can place a particular machine which can work as it is as the those 10 people are working. So if you are not that much upgraded, so you can get de-employed or you don't get employment. You have to upgrade as the technology is upgrading. So this can be a threat for us, but we have to go for a digital life. Please don't move your hand here and there. It will create disturbance. Okay, let's see what's happening. Please share. Okay, sorry. So, is there any other query related to this particular project? This was the complete project related to spam email filtering. Okay, how we can filter the emails which are spam or which are proper and legit emails. Is it clear? So, again, moving towards our presentation. Okay, so as if I've shown you that particular project, one thing I will say, if you want to work on AI or machine learning, you need to know that you have to be patient because in this AI, we only work on pre-processing because the final part is of some few lines only. We don't have to work a lot on the final model only. We just have to work on the pre-processing to create a set of data which is proper and which can create our system more accurate. If we don't clean our system or data, it will the accuracy of our system will affect it through this. So if we talk about advantages and disadvantages, so as if we all know that there are a lot of advantages of AI, no human intervention needed. That means there is a complete automation in that particular field. If we talk about mechanical industries and all, there are a lot of robotic arms working for that, and they have a particular set of projects or programs in that through which they are working for a single set of data or single type of work, continuous improvement, because it is learning itself, so it can improve itself easily, handling multi-dimensional and multi-variety of data. Look, I have just handled all the emails which have different kind of punctuation marks, which have HTML set of data and a lot, and there are wide applications related to AI. Why? Because everywhere where human intelligence is required, we can replace it through AI, but not now. We have to work on AI for that. Are you understanding this thing? Because at present we don't even understand the human intelligence. So how can we create a machine which can work like human? Are you understanding that particular thing? If we have to create something, we just have to understand how to inspire that particular thing. So firstly, we have to work on our human brain, and after that only AI. Scientists are working for that. So What are the disadvantages then? Data acquisition. What is the meaning of data acquisition? That means it needs a lot and lot of data. As much as you can provide the data, it will improve itself. Are you understanding that particular thing? If we provide a small set of data, the accuracy will be bounded, or it is not very much accurate in the real time. Time and resources. If we talk about time and resources, that particular complete program was written or was worked on that program in 2 weeks. Understanding that particular thing. That I have just worked on that particular code for 2 weeks. It takes a lot of time and resources. We say we need a higher level of text in our system because it needs a lot of processing in that, and it will just overload your system and shut it down. So you have to do work. Uh, you have to restart your work initially. Yeah. So that's why it needs a lot of resources to work on AI. What are the interpretation of results? So interpretation of results means if the data is inappropriate, so there are a lot of errors in the results also. High error susceptibility. How? If we talk about AI machine, it can't replace humans right now. So there are a lot of error susceptibility now. But as the digitalization is increasing or technology is increasing, the accuracy of AI is also increasing. Yes. So these all are the, I think, all the boring topics were there. So here what we just have projects. Yes. So all these projects are created by our company or me itself. So what is the project one? It is based on image processing and security. Okay. So this is motion detector. If we talk about this, just wait. First see the video, and after that I'll explain all the process. Hello.
Hello. Rohit, your screen is invisible.
Okay, okay. I'm just maybe there is some issue. I'm just
Hello. 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 Abhishek, am I audible? Hello.
Okay, sorry for the distortion. Uh, that's what I was saying, that it needs a lot of resources. I was just explaining you all these things, and my system went overrated, and that's why I was just disconnected. Sorry for the distortion, and I'm again going for the screen share. Yes, so this was the motion detector, what I was explaining. Is my screen is visible now?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, there is no sound, so don't stress. So, uh, as you can see, we can just see the video first, and then I will explain. So, there is the camera showing that the room is unoccupied, and as if my hand comes in under the camera range, then it shows that it is occupied and sends me the email for that. That was a simple project related to motion detection through camera and sending notification. Is it clear? So after that, what we have? We have face mask detector because it was Corona time. So in different kind of companies and all, we have to know, or we have to see whether the employee is wearing mask or not. So this can detect the employee that it is wearing a mask or not. You can see the difference between them. If the employee is wearing a mask, it is considered as a green box. Yes. And if it is not wearing that particular mask, it is considered as a red. That means it is not a proper one. And then this is virtual assistant, which is completely based on different applications related to Google Assistant and different web applications. It is integrated to all of these, and it has some static keywords also, to which I can give some relate some points or some values related to me, just like this. If the audio is not proper, I will just explain it. So say hello to Abhiganam sir. So it is replying, hello boss, nice to meet you. And if I ask for time, it is just showing that also. It can work for mathematics too. I understanding that particular thing, that it can work for it can work for mathematics, it can work for time, it can work for weather and all. That was a simple virtual assistant created by our company. So handwriting recognition system. Okay, so what is it now? What does it mean? That means that is a web application, okay, on which I have just applied some algorithm through which it can recognize the handwriting. Okay, I'll just show you the example of that. So all these were the projects created by me or our company. So all these things are completed. Now what we have, all these things, I don't think any of that particular project is that much interesting to you all. Yes, because all these things are related to statistics. Yes, but whether we say or we hear about AI, we just have the examples of Chitty, the robo, and all these kind of things like Tony Stark. He has a different kind of assistants. Yes, so this is the current level of artificial intelligence in or in our range. Are you understanding? That means this is the range of our understanding towards the machine learning or AI. Clear? So if we go for another systems or another kind of AI, I have some examples, videos basically, uh, on my system. I'm just showing, is my screen is visible properly? So if I talk about that particular virtual assistant I have created, yes. So this is starting, wait, in the chat box. Yes. Okay. So is the video is visible? Look, I was just asking that what is RSA algorithm and something information security. So that's what I was saying, that it is taking all the data from Google itself or and all the websites. It is just searching the keywords I was just saying, and then it is giving me output. Yes, but what if it can move on? Yeah, that virtual assistant firstly was in my system, in my laptop. Then I deployed it to a hardware called Raspberry Pi. Is it clear? And then I have just integrated that particular hardware with a body. Yeah. So if you can see, I'm just training it. So how to move. So this is the current status of this. I just working on this particular thing. I understanding this particular thing, that what if we provide or what if we integrate some kind of IoT with machine learning and AI. You can go for some references like Edureka and all, because all these things are deployed projects, and after lockdown these all projects will be available in market. I'm just working on that. So these projects are not I can not shareable basically. Sorry, maybe. Okay. So after all this, what we have, uh, we have to conclude our system or all the particular presentation. So I have to say in conclusion, artificial intelligence and technology are one side of the life that always interests us, because if whenever I or we understand or listen about AI, we get to know or we just imagine that there are a lot of machines talking to each other and working like in human. But currently, we are not at that stage. We are working for that, but we are just on. Uh, we are not integrated all the things together. Are you understanding this thing? Because we have some machine learning algorithms which can understand or which can visualize things. Clear? Using OpenCV, we can understand or we can process the images through which we can work as an eye of a system. Here, we can listen and understand the speech or voice. This for ear. Yes, we can sense different kind of things through sensors, but we have to integrate all these things together to get a particular system which can be an example of a complete AI. Are you understanding? Just like Sophia. Did you heard about that? There is a robot who has a citizenship of UAE. Why? Because it is able to understand, it is able to react, it is able to talk. or communicate to humans. Clearly, you can understand all these things. But currently, we are at the basic stage of AI, and we are just moving very fastly towards the future. So, thank you, everyone. I'm just concluding my system on my presentation here only, and just thank you. If anyone needs to contact us, you can go for the website, you can directly email us, and you can go for WhatsApp also. This is our number for WhatsApp and also for direct calls. So if there any query, you can go for this also. So all these ended here, and now I need some queries from you. Yes, ma'am.
If anybody wants to ask something, then he or she can mute themselves. I'm unmuting all of you. I have unmuted. You can ask. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are. So, ma'am, I was saying that you just say for them to raise their hands. So
Okay.
it will be very easy to unmute
Okay,
that
fine.
particular person.
If anybody wants to ask anything, just raise your hand.
Uh, I have a query or a question in chat box from Rupal. Yes,
Yes.
sir, you just showed something moving object. Isn't it combo of EC engineering and CS engineering? Look, currently we are at that stage where we don't go for the departments that this is the part of EC and this is the part of CS engineering. If we just have to work on these things, and all these things are currently integrated to each other. That's why if we have to go for a body, we just have to understand the mechanics, we just have to understand the electronics in that, we just have to understand the program in that. So all these things are currently integrated to each other. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else who wants to ask something?
Good afternoon, sir. This is Samba Sivarao.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
How do we compare the stage in which we are when compared to other countries, other developed countries?
We don't have to basically, because if we go for, because we are in developing stage and we have a lot of data, understanding, and we have a lot of man force also. Yeah. So we don't have to compare with the countries, but we can get ideas that how they are working on that particular stage. Yeah. So I can't compare any country with us, but we just have to go for the understanding that how they are working with that particular technology in real time. So we can also create all these things. Just like in EC department, we have worked on IR sensor from a lot of time. But currently in Corona stage, we have a lot of projects related to that, like touchless doorbell, touchless dispenser, and all. So all these are the past projects we can create that time, but there was no use in that time. Are you understanding? So that was not related to the topic, but I was just saying that how we have to use all these technologies in a real time. So we just have to understand that. Any other one?
Any other person who wants to ask something?
Or for feedback also?
Definitely. We are posting the feedback link on the chat box. So, Abhishek, will you
No,
please?
yeah, if someone wants to give feedback in front of me, so they
Okay.
can also do. So
Okay. If
it will just
anybody,
make me improve.
definitely. If anybody wants to give feedback,
And there
Anyone?
is a question in chat box.
Okay.
Do we have any tools to implement direct machine learning other than Python programming?
Other than
So, what you want to do? Because look, machine learning is nothing but different kind of algorithms only. Yeah. So there are not currently proper tools with that, but related to your particular program, or your particular things, you can go for different tools which are using machine learning. We can't implement machine learning directly without any kind of program. Yeah. Or I can say that it is not in my knowledge. But
anybody else who wants to give the feedback?
yeah, you can come on mic and just give some feedback related to my presentation. So as if I know I have to improve.
Definitely, Rohit, it's a good presentation, and we are benefited by your knowledge.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Feedback link is already posted on the chat box, so you all can fill the feedback form and you'll get the certificate according to that. You'll get the certificate on your mail. Everybody got the feedback link?